Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Khaled the Giant, and today we're talking about the topic of PvP and why I think PvP is going to be great for the overall health of the game and the longevity. But before we get into this video, please make sure if you enjoy the content, you like the topic we're discussing today, and you want to see more PvP news, more Diablo 4 gameplay, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and share the video. Remember, subscribing is free, and you can always unsubscribe at any time. Now, before we get into the topics, I want you guys to take a second and go into the comment section and tell me one thing that you are excited about PvP. What is one thing that might concern you or have you worried about PvP? And and if you're not excited, maybe you're kind of curious, will you jump into PvP? Will you not jump into PvP? Let me know. Now, let's get into it. So the reason why PvP kind of pulled me into Diablo initially was when I saw their trailer going over the PvP zones, and I was like, oh my god, this game that has like an amazing PvE aspect of it, one of the most defining in the ARP genre, is kind of the thing that got the ball rolling for this type of game. When I saw the PvP and it was open world of all facts, that pulled me in immediately. I was sold. I was like, man, it is so refreshing to get another open world PvP game, and especially like in this style. So I think it's going to be very different and it's going to be very fun. And the reason why I really do think like PvP is going to be good for the game, in my personal opinion, is PvP is going to provide that replayability to the game. I think the problem that a lot of games suffer from is replayability. Now, yes, Diablo 4, as a lot of people are saying from what I've been seeing on Twitter, Discord, even other YouTube videos and other content creators, are kind of leaning towards the route that Diablo 4 is going to be more casual friendly, because they feel like the devs are really trying to cater towards newcomers and casual players. Obviously, there's still a lot of content and hardcore content for the dedicated players of the game, so people who are dedicated won't really have an issue in finding things to do in this game. But speaking back on that casual, this ability to go in, play the game, and go with your friends into something that's other than PvE is going to be very good for the health of the game. Now, I want to make a disclaimer about PvP. I do not want PvP to affect PvE. At the end of the day, this game is a PvE game, and PvP is more of like a fun activity that we, the player, get to participate in with our friends and just have a good time and make some good memories. PvP for this game, going back into why I think it's going to be good for the longevity of the game and retouching the topic of replayability, is there's going to be a lot of new players coming to Diablo 4. It's not going to be only your hardcore Diablo fans. Like, this game has pulled a lot of new players, including myself. I played Diablo in the past, and at the time when I played it, I wasn't really familiar with how you play games like this. So like when I first played it, I didn't really get into Diablo 4 because I was just trying to like learn it, trying to figure it out. And at the time I was also like really young, so I was just more like kind of running around. Like, I didn't know you're supposed to combo, set up stuff, get gear, and things of that nature. So when I watched the trailer and I saw like, oh my god, PvP, like I said earlier, it pulled me in, and I know that's going to be what pulled a lot of new players into this game, is PvP. And I think the issue, again, tying back into kind of replayability, is people usually, once they beat the game, people will get bored of just running dungeons over and over again, and that's what's going to make the person who's a casual gamer more leave the game and go somewhere else. Again, I'm more leaning towards the side of like the hardcore player. That's usually the kind of player base I typically like more, because those people, in my opinion, are going to kind of make the game keep going and staying alive. The people who are dedicated and the people who want to like see the game grow and get better. But I think PvP is going to also make those people who are the hardcore PvE fans really surprise them and really make them change their minds and be like, oh my god, this is actually so much fun. Like I said, you can't tell me that even if you're a hardcore dungeoning group and there is some PvE content in the PvP zone, and you tell your friends, hey guys, let's go in there, let's go run this PvE content, let's see what it's like. You go in there, your group of 4, and you fight another group of 4 and you kill them. You're not going to sit here and tell me that that does not sound like it is going to be fun, it's going to be chaotic, it's going to be a mess. Now, the devs did state that Diablo 4 is a place for slaughter and not a place for honor. So with that being said, It definitely seems like PvP, like maintenance and balancing, is not on their priority list, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Again, I most likely want the I not most likely, I really mainly want the devs to keep the PvP zones um, just crazy, chaotic, no, not really much balancing. Just keep it fun. You know, it's not meant to be taken serious. It's just meant to be like, hey, I want to go in there, feel powerful, kill stuff, and just attack. I did hear that there is supposedly damage reduction to players in PvP. On that information, I'm not sure, but I would imagine that is pretty true because some abilities can hit for like 1,000. So I imagine when you hit a player, your damage scales according to the player. But like I said, I think PvP is really going to surprise a lot of you guys, and I think a lot of the people who are worried about PvP should not be. I think you guys should mainly be looking forward to something new at the end game to do in the game. And like I said, I think this is going to be good for the overall health of the game, the overall population for the game, because what that's going to do is people who are really dedicated to PvP are going to go play the PvE content to go get the gear, get the items, get the aspects that they need for their PvP builds. And in turn, it's going to make it much easier to find LFGs, participate in world event bosses, participate in public events. Although the public events right now, from what we've seen in the beta, were pretty easy. You can solo like all of them. You don't really need people, but still, it's just going to add more flow. And to me, I really do enjoy the feel of the game with seeing other players. It's not overwhelming like in MMOs where you walk into a town and there's like 60 people standing like at the center dancing and emoting. But it is nice, like, you know, you walk into like the main city, like where I'm at right now in Kyovashad, and you see like a couple of players here and there. It is a nice feeling, makes the game feel alive, and I think the devs nailed the dot on that with making it feel alive, making it feel like you are playing with more than just yourself. And tying back into PvP and kind of going into my opinion about it at the end of the day is, in games like this, I personally love PvP because it really gives you something at endgame, like a pinnacle challenge to go and fight other players. In ESO, I played that game a lot when it came out, and I loved it. I loved it a lot, and then when I jumped into PvP, I loved it even more because it was just so cool. It was so fresh. It was never the same thing. It was always different. You never know who you're gonna go up against. You never know what build they're gonna have. It's just exciting. And I like the fact that it's not like a 1v1, like you walk into town and say, hey, I want to fight you. It's just like, hey, I need to go farm this over there. I might run into a group of 4. And that kind of like adrenaline rush sounds so much fun. It sounds so exciting, and it's going to be very fresh to the game. Like I said, PvP is a choice in the game, so I don't think people who are worried should be that concerned. Like I said earlier, I do not want the devs to like hammer in on PvE because it's too broken in PvP. I think PvE should be the primary focus of the game, making sure that that area of the game is healthy and running properly. And then they should optimize PvP with like patches and stuff like that just to make it run better. And in my opinion, they should add like arenas, like separate instances where you can queue in like a 4v4 or something like that with activities and leaderboards where they can actually scale the character in there appropriately, since it is more of an instance based and not a whole world situation. Because if it's a world, they're going to have to kind of implement it throughout the whole game as you're going through. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was my opinion on PvP and why I think we need to talk about it. I will be posting a video soon on how to prepare for PvP. So any of you PvP nuts out there that are excited and wanting to know just some things to prep for. Again, I know you're probably listening to that and saying, well, how does he know the game's not even out yet? I just know some things from playing the game and from watching the developer live streams and just seeing how some of the in-game mechanics work. I think you'll be surprised with some of the things I mentioned that will help you get ready for PvP while you're playing through the game. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you liked it, please comment, subscribe, share, and turn on the bell notification. And remember, go in the comment section. Let me know what you're excited for, what you're worried for. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.